Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Silver Cosmos Movie Reviews.
What's up?
Here we go.
I'm excited, you guys. This is something I've talked about for a long time, wanting to do to the audience. I wanted to do was watch a movie, give our insights, rate the stars, and just kind of see if it's worth going or not. But this is all based on opinions. Could be facts, but so we have
Jess coming at you.
Hey, it's Chris with a K.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. So we want to say that we will have a contest giveaway. We've been saying it in our other channels. Please follow us on our channels there. You can follow us at Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and our webpage for more details. So the contest giveaway we're going to do is for the next Spider-Man movie and also The Matrix. Now, what was the title on that, Jesse, for the new Matrix movie? Is it
Revelation?
Was it Revelation?
Or Revolution?
No,
Thought
that was the third one.
Yeah.
Resurrection. Matrix Resurrection.
Yeah, I believe so.
See, we're already screwing up.
That's
On our
fine.
first episode, we're not getting the facts right. All
I
right.
didn't know we were talking about Matrix.
It's okay. This is a free-for-all. All right, so check this out, you guys. So today's movie we're going to do is Marvel's movie of Eternals. So, Jesse, we saw the movie.
We did see the movie.
Good deal, good deal. So we're going to go ahead and give a little bit of insight. Let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so before we get started, you guys, is there any quick shout-outs you want to do before we get the show started?
Just a big shout out to my family. We've been dealing with some personal stuff, so I didn't get to see this movie. So I've got a lot of questions about it. I'm quite curious. But just shout out to my family and folks and everyone that's going through some stuff.
I'd say my family as well. We are also going through some stuff, so just my family and friends and everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Our thoughts and prayers go to the both of you guys and to everyone out there that's dealing with anything. Our thoughts and prayers go to you as well. I want to do a quick dedication. I want to dedicate this episode to a good friend, Angelica. I want to say thank you for inspiring me to get this show started. I'm very passionate about movies. I'm very passionate about just talking, expressing how I feel about shows, and you've always been a good ear to listen to. So I want to say thank you from the cast here and just appreciate that. So, and also I want to say thank you to the family, friends, and the audience and the people behind us. So thank you guys. All right, so let's go ahead, Jesse. Let's start off with the Eternals here. So the Eternals premiered here in the U.S. November 5th. It's directed by Chloe Zhou. Is that how you say her name, Zhou?
Joe?
Okay. She's a
Maybe?
Chinese
Yeah.
director. She's known for when she won the Academy Award for No Man Land, and she also did The Writers. And so the stars of the show, so we have the lineup. We have Angelina Jolie. She was Thena.
Yep.
One of my favorite actresses I've always had the hots for, Salma Hayek.
Dude, she was awesome in Hackers, like in the 90s. Remember that?
Well, that was Angelina Jolie, but we're talking about Salma Hayek. I like her from Dusk Till Dawn.
You switched it real quick.
Yeah.
Desperado was good as well.
Okay,
Desperado and
I
Dusk
got
Till
you.
Dawn,
I got you. All right, so Gemma Chan and Cersei, Richard Madden as Icarus, Kit Harington as the Black Knight. Well, soon to be Black Knight.
Reuniting of Game of Thrones.
Game of
characters
Thrones,
there,
yes.
Or actors.
Now, I may get this name wrong, but Kumamoto Nanjiani, or I think.
Nanjiani.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, guy. If you have any
Kumamoto.
issues that I got your name wrong, you know what to do. Just like and subscribe on our show. Talk to
He's
me
the-
and help me out with that.
Is he the Pakistani or Indian?
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah,
Kino?
he's kind of the Bollywood star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's his
exactly.
storyline in.
Yes. Okay, so he plays Kingo. So we have Leah McHugh plays Sprite. Brian Tyree Henry plays as Fastos. Lauren Ridloff plays as Macri. Barry Keoghan is Druid. May Dong Seok plays Gilgamesh. And then Harry Styles plays Eros, a.k.a. Star Fox. Patton Oswalt plays Pip the Troll.
Got to get him in anything Marvel if you can.
Oh, yeah. Bill Skarsgård plays as Crow, the Deviant. Now, no, he did not play Pennywise in this one because he was Pennywise in the
Right.
movie It. And, okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive in the movie. So pretty much the Eternals was about. Now, before anything, you guys, in this show, we will do spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want us to give it away, come back on the next episode or tune in after you watched it, and then you can cross compare. But if you're ready to go, let's get the show started. So the Eternals is about a race of immortal beings with superhuman powers who have secretly lived on Earth for thousands of years. But now they have to face an old enemy that has came back to haunt them, the evil deviants. All right. So let's go ahead, Jesse. Let's talk about it. What were your thoughts of the movie itself going in?
I didn't really expect a whole lot because I don't know about the Eternals. The beginning was a little slow for me. Took a little while to actually get into it.
I would guess there's a lot of information they're trying to give you in the beginning. Do they get into where the Eternals originated from, how they were created with the Celestials?
Eventually.
Oh, they don't start. They get into how the deviants and the. And now I'm getting into a little bit of the comic book background, and so I don't know, because MCU's got to do their own version of backstory and whatnot. But
I don't know, for me, it was kind of hard to follow at the beginning because they were just not a lot was going on, I guess. So I just don't. It was just hard to follow for like the first 20 or 30 minutes, and then you started. For me, it was understanding more because I said I don't know anything about the Eternals or the Celestials.
I'm glad you asked. So again, for the audience, we're going to go more in depth on that on our show on Wichita Vice. So tune into that, and we'll go more in depth of the characters themselves.
Well, I just mean the plot line of the story, though. Does it get all that?
I'm giving them a teaser.
Oh, okay.
It's a teaser.
Gotcha.
All right.
Tease,
so
tease.
the movie. Okay, so the movie
Tease.
itself. So any typical Marvel movie, we've seen through the Avengers and other MCU movies, they kind of just start you off with the action, or they lead the way with the characters. But what I've seen in this direction in the movie is that they started off slow, and I agree with Jesse. It was you're just sitting there. We're just watching the movie and just watching, big space. We see all the characters together being made by the Celestials. So it's a slow start going in. And as the movie is progressing, it was taking a while to get everybody established. All we know is that they were made, I think approximately about, they said 5,000 years ago. I mean, they're old.
Yeah,
and they were all created.
That's a little more recent than I think the comic book
in the MCU.
Origin.
We're just
not. Yeah, they're just using what. That's
right.
Like I said, they're going with their own origin.
The direction was that the Marvel I have to distinguish here, because the thing is that for the people that have seen the comic books and has followed the MCU, everything is being established in correlation with other movies. Mm-hmm. Now, if you follow the comic books, that's a whole, like you said, Chris,
right,
that's a whole different story.
Sure.
So, in the movie's perspective, the objective is that the Celestials, those big giant robots that you saw in the movie, those guys were made by creation of life. They established in a world, a planet, and then once life form was developed and they matured, they pretty much just came out of nowhere. The planet is destroyed, and now you have this celestial being. Now they created the protagonist is the deviants. Now the leader of the deviants is Crow, and in the movie they were just more like monsters. They were just monsters until Crow developed a speech after he absorbed one of the Eternals. Now in the comic books, they're literally the arch enemy of the Eternals. I mean, they go neck to neck.
Well, in their human form, and aren't they? Like, they have powers, and they're just like the Eternals, just bad.
Exactly. In the comic book,
right?
But in the movie, they made them animal, made them like
they
creatures.
look like
Beasts,
like a beast.
Not really
humanoid,
and not thinking, more just attack and devour type.
Mm-hmm.
Destroy.
But you see how Crow developed intelligence.
Yeah, he had his tentacles or whatever that. he had going on there.
Now let's focus a little bit on the progression of the movie. So Jesse, for the audience that has not seen the movie yet, just step aside the comic book definitions and here and there. If you were to go in, do you think the audience would appreciate the movie?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they're going in not knowing anything, I think it, like I said, the beginning's a little slow, but eventually it picks up. Man, it's a pretty good movie.
Okay.
Shot well, I assume, with Chloe Zhao's creativity in
what? And now let me answer that.
Photography,
Let me answer that, Chris. Yes, I do appreciate what she did because she tackled a script, a screenplay that was meant to have action. Because remember, Marvel is introducing the Phase 4. Now remember,
Right.
there's
There's
Phase
still-
1, 2, 3, 4, and so 4 is starting off with new characters coming in. The Eternals have been out for a long time, and I recall talking to certain people, and they're like, "Who are the Eternals? I never heard of them. What are they?" And so what Marvel is doing is they're opening up their vault and they're introducing characters coming in. And so with the casting that they did, they brought in some big hitters. I mean, like you said, Game of Thrones reunion with Kit Harington, and also bringing in
Angelina and
Richard
Salma Hayek.
Madden. Now,
Yeah.
of course, that's a whole separate deal with Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie because you already got Academy Award winner in Angelina Jolie. In this movie, I know those actors appreciated being. I remember in a episode of a Spanish talk show when Salma Hayek was asked, like, how does it feel that you're going to be in a Marvel movie? And she broke down in tears because, like you said, and that's awesome what you brought up, Chris, that a lot of these actors are wanting to get into a Marvel movie. They want to staple themselves in a movie, and especially with Harry Styles being Star Fox, that was kind of unique. Even people that didn't know who it was, he goes, "Hey, that's Harry Styles."
Right.
So that's awesome to know. Did you know who was that backdrop voice at the end of the credits?
Mm-mm.
It was, I can't say his name. The guy that plays in the Green Book, he played in Alita Battlestar. He was also he's going to be playing the upcoming Blade.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mahershala Ali.
Yes, he's also an Academy
He was
Award
in
winner.
He was in Luke Cage as well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Dude,
He was,
I don't remember Luke Cage. It's been
Oh,
forever.
he was the bad guy in season 1. Of,
season 1.
like the main gang leader with his sister or whatever.
Mhm.
I'll
So
check that out.
the direction that they did was they took a bunch of heavy hitters going in, known actors going in, and trying to make it sense for everybody in a 2-hour, 30-something minute length.
When that's, I will say, I did see the trailers for it, and that was one of my concerns going in from just the view of the trailer. You have this giant roster of characters, some with big name actors behind them, and you're going to try to tell all these people's millennia old stories in 5,000-year-old. They've been around for 5,000 years, and you're going to try to condense all these character stories of 5,000 years into
2 hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse, let me ask you.
I feel like you're going to lose a lot of the character development.
Let me. Yeah, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you feel like you connected with the heroes, the characters? Like if you see a good movie like Christopher Nolan's first Dark Knight, like you connect with that Batman. Like you see where he goes dark, where what leads him up to becoming the hero. Do you get any sense of that in these Eternal characters, or you're just like, oh, they were created to be heroes, and now their time has come to be heroes, 5,000 years later?
So they had some flashbacks, but that didn't really give me. I wasn't immersed in the story because the flashbacks didn't last very long. They were like maybe 10 minutes of different areas of the world.
And also my concern is, are they able to build, like you're building, got to spend so much time just building any connection at all to the heroes. How much can they actually build in the conflict between the the heroes and the villain. Like, that seems like something that's going to get lost. You're not going to have as a reference point, the Christopher Nolan Batman, you're not going to have that Ra's al Ghul that trained you during, and thought, your father that turned against you, that when, all of a sudden now you find out it's evil and all that. You're not going to have that conflict build up to the final scene. Was that lost, or did you were like, oh no, they showed how why they want to fight these things?
I mean, for me, couldn't
because that's
really
a lot of story that you lose. Like Shang-Chi, what in my opinion, up to this point is the best Marvel as a comparative one. Like, him fighting his dad to death, basically, after all the things that they had gone through in his life, the neglect, the maybe some form of abuse. I mean, I would say training your kid from birth
to be an assassin.
Assassin is a form of abuse. I don't know exactly which one.
I call it good parenting.
But that builds up to this amazing conflict at the end where you're like, oh, and that's something that I was afraid just from the trailers. Like, wow, how do you do those things?
It was lackluster.
Any accomplishment at that?
Let me tackle this with you, Chris. Okay, so from my perspective, I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, and I love the Batman series. When you got Batman Begins, Christopher Nolan did a great job establishing Bruce Wayne, this is where he got trained. Okay, so Ra's al Ghul trained him. So we were thought to believe he was getting trained by Ken Watanabe, who played the fake Ra's al Ghul, until we found out that it was Liam Neeson that was the Ra's al Ghul. Right. Okay, so it's like it had a climax point, and then you saw its end game there. With the Eternals, I felt they put a lot of emphasis of a story. Think of it not enough to spread around, because really, Salma Hayek she only had within 5 minutes of character time, Ajax, and
there wasn't a lot of time.
She was an important character. So again, for the spoiler alerts, she knew the plan since day one, what was going on. So to give it out the plan was the Celestials were to protect Earth. Their job was to establish civilization, teach them, skills, learn technology, learn to get together. But we saw through time and human error, they started wars. I mean, especially the scene when Phastos, that's played by what's his name here? I got it right here. Brian Tyree Henry. That was powerful when him and Ajax were crying because he saw them use that atomic bomb, and he was upset why we taught him this. He gave up on humanity. So, Chris, the thing is that to me there was hiccups, there was plot gaps where it's kind of like, hey, you guys should stop focusing. Now, one of the things that drove me nuts was the love story between Cersei and Icarus.
I was actually just getting ready to mention that.
I get it. Okay, I get it. They have history. I mean, poor Kit Harington, he's dating the girl. I mean, he's only have, a couple years experience. You're getting beat by the guy that's been with her for 5,000 years. So, he's kind of a little bit more familiar than you, buddy. He knows the ins and outs. But the thing is Marvel, you got to give the director credit that they showed a love scene, even though, I mean, don't get your hopes up, everybody. It wasn't that kind of a love scene. You get the basics. But overall, they were trying to take it to new levels, and especially with Brian Tyree Henry's character of Phastos being married to a human, being an established family man, and then also you see what's Sprite, the character Sprite. She's an adult, but she's in a kid's body,
and she's not. She's tired of basically being a kid for 5,000 years, and she wants to experience love. And have her own family because she sees
Icarus.
Yeah, Icarus and Cersei, and
So then you've got.
So there are some connections that.
It's there, Chris. I mean, if you connect the dots, it's there. But what I'm saying is for the viewer, like I said, take away if they don't know the comic books or not. If I just went in, just to went in to look at it, I would have been confused. Like, okay, so why is this going on? Okay, why is this going on? And especially with the deviants, until what was it, 2/3 of the movie, you find out
Literally, almost
they were
towards the
made
end.
by the Celestials. They were
Right.
made by the Celestials.
Okay.
So it brings back a balance, and the Crow, the main villain, he's knocking them out. He killed Gilgamesh and he killed Ajax.
Gilgamesh and
Oh,
Ajax, and then Athena. He absorbed a little bit of her energy as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
so
the
they
love-
were created in the movie. They were created to balance the power of the Eternals, or
The Eternals were made to protect the Celestials that were being created. Because remember, Earth, after Earth was created, there was a Celestial that was growing there.
Yes.
So once it developed maturity and it was able to absorb enough life, that planet was going to be destroyed. Now, Ajax got a whiff of it and said, I don't like this idea. She expressed her thoughts to Icarus. Icarus was still loyal to the Celestial. What was his name of that Celestial? It's not ringing a bell right now, but he did what he felt was right, and he killed her. And the thing is in that movie, there becomes the climatic part. There is they're fighting an ideal, and that's where I felt they could have done a little bit better job. I mean, Angelina Jolie, she's having, I don't know what her deal was. She looked like she was having, because she was having flashback of memories, so it impeded her to be able to be at her full force. When she was at her full force, she was a menace, dangerous.
do you think it could have been better as maybe like a two-parter or a
I think
series?
it needs to be at least be a series, because they really
get into it.
Carlos brought up a good point earlier about the love interest between Cersei and Icarus. Like, they concentrated more on that than the other characters, in my
Right.
opinion. And I was just like, I'm the same way as Carlos. I'm like, okay, we get it. You guys are in love. 5,000 years of history. Can we move this along with other characters? Like, I don't really care about your love interest between the two characters, to be honest with you.
And overall, if we made it into a series, look, they did a great job with Loki. Now Hawkeye is going to drop pretty soon, and then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Those were good series.
I like the expansion of the smaller characters, and I think that's the way they should go. That'd been great for the Eternals. Maybe do. I think they could really get into those growths, and then you make the movie that has them all come together and fight this big thing, and you've got this connection that has developed with all the characters already, and now you can build on the conflict and not so much the character. Like, then you can, instead of character development, you get into character growth and conflict with, and resolution through that. So
Yeah, man. No, that would be really cool.
do you think, would you watch a 2, Eternals 2?
I would, just for the sake of
I mean-
Marvel fan.
Right.
Probably not, because
Do you think it will? It's getting pretty bad ratings for Rotten Tomatoes.
Man,
I mean,
I don't know. Like, it just didn't engage me a whole lot.
do you think it resolved enough that they may be more of a, we're gonna pull these two characters into future Marvel things and just leave the rest be?
What they did already, I mean, for the fans that know the comic books, we already see Kit Harington's character is going to become the Black Knight. That is already
be
being
really cool.
That's already being established already. We see that.
And it could be even more just an origin story for him.
Now, remember, he is at the beginning he is a villain, but then later on he comes to his senses. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But overall, the cliffhanger at the end, you saw when the Celestials pulled the remainder of the Eternals, so they were gone. So when they needed help to go find where the other the Eternals were, they got the help of Pip the Troll and Harry Styles' character of Star Fox. Now, for people to know, Star Fox, he's the brother of Thanos, so he's an Eternal. So he's one of the strongest. He's stronger than Icarus, because Icarus comes off as like a Superman character. He's flying, he's strong.
He does. Come
So
off that way.
he's fast guy. The dude is phenomenal. He's just one of the best Eternals. But Star Fox is known to be a strong Eternal. Now, the question I wanted to ask you, Jesse, is just highlighting, what did you like about the movie?
I mean, I liked. Said the fighting was pretty good. The pretty good fighting scenes. But I mean, all in all, I couldn't get into it, to be honest with you.
Okay, so on the parts that I like, the music was great. I mean, they brought in the German composer Ramin Djawadi. He's been known to do a couple of the Marvel movies. I felt that the music correlated again with the movie. Also, I did like the effects. That was kind of cool. They kept it simple, wasn't overdoing it. I was not impressed with Angelina Jolie chopping down things coming from the volcano. I felt like Angelina Jolie looked kind of tired. She just didn't seem invested in her role. It just seemed like, okay, I'm just here for a paycheck. Let me just do a little bit of acting, which I like Angelina Jolie. And now Salma Hayek didn't get enough screen time, so we'll leave that. It seemed like it was meant for Gemma Chan to take over as the lead role as Cersei, but I just was not involved in her character. It just didn't seem to me. No one there in that movie Kingo was funny when he was doing the Bollywood.
Kingo, and then
the dry humor he brought in was pretty good.
He's a funny actor.
He gave it a lot of comic relief. So what I appreciated about the movie is the effects. The effects was great. I do appreciate that the director, she toned it down and kind of give it a story. But now let's tune it into what you didn't like. So Jesse, go ahead and express more of that what you didn't like.
So I didn't like the whole love interest thing. It just kind of turned me off. It was just.
Were you jealous or what was going on?
Well, yeah, dude, super jealous. Or was I gonna have that 5,000 years of love, bro? I don't know.
I knew it. You're so jealous,
dude. I'm super jealous. Like, who wouldn't be jealous of a beautiful girl?
It's obvious.
I know. That really just too much of it is too much.
What I didn't like about the movie, Chris, and I'm going to tell you this real quick on that. Okay, let's just break it down real quick. For the love scene part, not the love scene, but the love between Icarus, between Icarus and Cersei. They should have wrapped it up in one thing and left it at that.
I agree.
And just would have just said, look, it didn't work out. Maybe I'm getting tired of you, or maybe you're not working for me. But they left it open-ended. And then when he came back, here comes the emotions, and poor Kit Harington's like, okay.
I guess I'm just going to go this way, guys. Bye.
Hey, he can fly. He can do all this. I'm just a normal human being. So
my guess is that was a quote unquote Hollywood ad type deal. Like, maybe. In the comic book type stuff, that's not something that's necessarily a strong storyline throughout.
Not really.
Stuff.
In the comic
most of the time,
book,
the Eternals don't really get with each other. For one, they're doing their own things.
In the comic book, Chris, Cersei does help a lot because she helps a lot the human race. Yes. So she does. They twisted it a little bit. But the Black Knight is getting powers from the Eternal, even though he's a human being. But the sword that's there gives him that power. But anyways, so that's the part that I dislike. And I dislike the fact that they focus just pretty much on one deviant, on Crow, which Crow is the arch villain. I get that. Now, if they were able to expand a little bit more, I wish I could have seen them maybe an all-out battle of the deviants and kind of like Transformers, Autobots, and Decepticons. Battle it out, get to the point. But I did like it goes back to the liking. What I did like was finally Crow expressing why he hated the Eternals and he hated the Celestials, because they're like, they used us. So looking at it from a movie perspective to what I like I mentioned, I did appreciate the effort that they put, because that was a big risk going in saying, okay, how do we explain a story of a group of people that was never mentioned in the Marvel Universe prior to Phase 4, and all of a sudden these guys survived the Thanos snap. They've survived so many other things, and then when they made references,
they did
with the Avengers.
Why did you not intervene when the Avengers were fighting, or when Thanos was on? Earth, like, well, we can't get involved.
Because they can only protect against the deviants.
So also another thing I didn't like was the story just wasn't engaging to me. Because I don't know a lot about the Eternals.
All right. So now let's tackle the most important part of this. Okay. So for the movie itself, I want to know from you, Jesse, the ratings between 1 to 4 in stars, and overall, would it be recommended to go watch?
I would give it a 2. I mean, if you're into science fiction or if you like the comic books and if you know about the Eternals, I would say go ahead and give her a try. See how you like it.
So you're going to give it 2 stars out of 4?
Yeah.
Ouch. All right. Based on my review, this is a good movie if you are a Marvel comic book fan because you're going to go see some heroes. I did appreciate that they went out and casted some characters to help amplify the movie, although there was a lot of gaps that they could have worked on. Maybe this could be a lesson and when they do the next Eternals movie, if they do greenlight that. I also see there was like I said, the love story, not bad. This is a good movie you can take someone on a date to watch. But if they're not into that, dude, go take them to Resident Evil. You might have better chances there. But overall, I'm going to give this movie a 3 stars for the simple fact of the effects. Also with the fact that the movies, as it was progressing, it was taking too long, but it was getting to a point to where we finally, after 2 hours and so minutes, we figured out, oh, so this is why you guys are fighting.
But I will agree, though, it did have good visual effects. So, I mean, that's another plus, I guess, for me.
So with you, Chris, after hearing what we've talked about, what are your chances that you're going to go see the movie?
I got to say, I probably won't see it in the theaters.
So you're just going to wait for Disney?
Yeah, I think I'll wait to see it on once it starts streaming. I think there's there's plenty else out there that's invites me. I'm interested, but I mean, you know, with you, every time you go to a theater, you got a little risk there with COVID.
Yeah, that's no joke.
And so I try to limit my risks by.
Bro, I got that iron hide, you know. It's called the iron hide.
Do you think that this could do better than Black Widow? Because Black Widow got a lot of bad reviews.
I really liked Black Widow. It's not necessarily like the best or anything, but I really enjoyed Black Widow.
I don't have an opinion because I've never seen it. I should probably watch it.
It's good. I think it's available to all now on streaming services. But I was already kind of hesitant again from the trailers. It just didn't really inspire. I didn't feel the connection. That's why I was asking about it. So I'll probably just wait and see it at more convenient time because I'm more looking for the Spider-Man and things that are coming out.
Hey, bro, Ghostbusters is out right now.
Oh, did that come out?
It did.
All right,
and that'd be one that I'd probably more.
Yeah, we will be doing a show on Ghostbusters. But so, just to wrap this up, so we have 2. I have 3. So overall, so it will be 2.5 out of 4 as a group as its whole. So tune into that movie, you guys. The movie Marvel Eternals. All right. So as we discussed before, the next show we will do a special edition of Dune.
Hey, yes.
So we're going to come follow us. If you have questions about Dune, the movie was already out. So we'll go a little bit more in depth about that as well. And also do not forget to sign up for the contest. We are going to give away tickets. Now, as addressed, if you do not want to go to a movie theater, what we're going to do is on the sign up, we will send you a gift card for either Disney Plus, or we can do Netflix, Fango, of your choice. So all you have to do is like, subscribe, follow, and we will give that away. So any final shout outs, Chris?
I just want to thank all the tech guys that give us a hand and all you guys out there in cyberspace giving us an ear.
Yep. Thanks to the boys in the back and everybody out there in interwebs land. Y'all have a fantastic evening.
I want to say also thank you guys for coming here. I appreciate it. And this is just only episode 1, and we got more to go. We're going to tune into a lot of shows, and I cannot wait to go more in depth on the movies. And also, yes, thank you to the guys in the back. For the people that don't get the recognition, you know we appreciate you. So thank you guys. Also, I want to thank friends. I want to thank family. I want to thank to the audience, and thank you for the people always tuning in. So if you need to watch a movie, but you just don't know if you should watch it yet, or you just want to get a sneak peek of what the movie's about, come follow us at Silver Cosmos Movie Reviews. We are signing out.
Later.
Hey guys, it's your pal Chris with a K, and do phrases like 1040, W4, 1099, AGI, or Schedule B send chills down your back like they do to me? Well, contact our friend Teresa over at TV's Tax Service. She's got all the know-how to help you with your taxes. Go see her at 12605 East Lincoln Court, 67207 Wichita, Kansas, or give her a call at 316-618-8866.